It's still 5 o'clock in the morning, but I woke up and thought of a few things that I wanted to share. Let me just show you this. That's what I see from my bed. And here is the spider crawling. Probably you cannot see it on the right or your left side, I don't know which. And I was watching that spider moving around. And then I thought of people who are in the prison, doing nothing to do. They watch a spider or fly, and then maybe look if there's a window. They may see outside, and they stay in that prison cell. I don't mean to say I'm in a prison, but the thought popped up like that. The prison and the man sitting in the cell. That triggered then an image of Les Miserables, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Victor Hugo, the French novel. I read the book when I was even 13 or 14. Someone gave it to me. I read all the story of the guy who got put in prison. Another story of the book is by Shinichi Hoshi, who is a science fiction writer in Japan. And he has his father going through severe difficulty. He was running a pharmaceutical company, but the dream that he had a problem with the government, and the government gave Hoshi's father a very hard time, unreasonable. Even though he's a science fiction writer, he had the book. I think it was titled in Japanese, Kanjo. In English, the bureaucracy, the people there are strong, and the people out in public are weak, or something like that. Remind me of the US election, and there's a fight, in my view, between middle class and majority people having a hard time. At least that's what they say, that the food price is going up, and the problem related to women's birthright, women's right, are ignored. So my mind got still looking at the spider on the wall, on the ceiling. What do you do? How do you fix it? If you're in a prison, there's not much you can do. If you're a poor businessman under the pressure of the bureaucracy, what do you do? If you're the woman who miscarried or whatever, and I saw the news that this woman was arrested because there was a law that prohibited her to not obey certain law according to what the state had decided. I just don't understand. I don't remember the story of Victor Hugo, Les Miserables, why he was thrown into the prison, but he went out of it. Had revenge, so to speak, but I don't remember. When I was 6 years old, or maybe 8 or 9, we were bringing lunchbox to the school, elementary school, and I noticed one kid eating lunchbox with the lid or top on, as if he's hiding his price from someone else. I just walked past by him and I realized that he doesn't have much nutrition, the food in there, only rice and they call it umeboshi, the plum sitting inside or something like that. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't figure out, and that hit me, that there's an inequality in the society. The word inequality reminds me of Daisetsu Suzuki. His father was a doctor, and he performed his job as if, what's the word, helping people, not just treating them, illness, whatever, but also financially. So that the standard at the time in this town north of Kyoto that he lived, and Daisetsu lived with him, was that he didn't care about the payment as much. And it's not like getting the pay for his work immediately. Twice a year or something, they just had the people come and pay whatever they could. So that was the practice, he said, and eventually, whatever the reason, the business went sour. He passed away, and Daisetsu couldn't go to continue going to elementary school or something like that. He said, in those days, why there is such an equality in the society. So that bothered him. So he was raised by his mother and couldn't go to school anymore. And that thought about inequality put him to go see the man, the Zen monk in the temple. He lived far away and he went there and did some meditation or something, but he didn't get the idea of what this is about. So when you face certain difficulties, whether you are in the prison or under bureaucracy or under some economic circumstance, you don't have food and other people have food, there is that thought, why so? What can be done? and you are put into the place where you cannot do much of anything. I don't know if the thought, the experience I had by watching that little kid, I still remember in my image where he was sitting and eating from his lunchbox, metallic one, hiding as if not to show what's inside the lunchbox because he was embarrassed. So I'm caught in the mind box, nowhere to go. All those stories that I shared point out difficulties of life. I'm wealthy enough to pay more about staying in a hotel if I choose to, instead of this tiny one. But I couldn't justify it. Some may think it's stupid. If I have money, why don't you? But when I watch that spider walking around on the ceiling and looking at this ceiling, you see, all the painting is nicely done, and the spider has no complaint. In fact, I don't have any complaint about staying in this hotel. I mentioned in one of the videos that if I was in the rocket to the Mars, confined, and go to the Mars, that I have seen the picture of what it's like, rocks and desert. I thought I wouldn't want to be in that little rocket. I'll much prefer to be in this hotel and finding ways so that I can live, even that spider crawling as friend. Depends on your perspective. We choose different paths. Some may be more privileged than others, or lucky enough than others. Then there are people who are, what's the word, altruistic, idealistic, to figure out what to do in a given situation, spiritually or business-wise or politically, and trying to find some way to resolve the problem. I'd rather be on the side of the scheme, to be with the people and find a way. Spider is moving very quickly. Well, maybe he listened to my story. Whatever the circumstance we are in, let's do our best. be compassionate, and find wisdom to live life. May all beings be happy. Have a good day.